if the PM, the project manager role is something that you want to target or pursue in the future, you can list that as part of your goals. And then as part of your goals, you sort of point out what are some of the action items that you can take during the year so that you can get to that level.
Welcome to Actualizing Success. In this podcast series, our in-house advisors discuss today's finance and technology topics with an emphasis on solutions that embrace tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Adrian Mendieta. I'm a manager here at Actualize Consulting. Today, we're going to talk about our co-op internship program. I have with me Boyle, current co-op from Waterloo, that will be joining us full-time. I myself was an intern here at Actualize back in 2019, and I became a full-time employee in 2020. I wanted to share why Actualize offers a different experience for college students, and also wanted to ask Dom, who's a current co-op, his experience and what has made him pursue full-time here at Actualize. So, Dom, why did you choose to come to Actualize, and what has been your experience so far with the role?
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Adrian. So I'll start with how I found Actualize. So really, I was just scrolling through LinkedIn and saw a post by Actualize, and I took a look through the website. And at the time, I was looking for a new role as a consultant, so I was immediately interested in our firm's niche offerings. Then my first impressions of hearing about Actualize was actually through this podcast. So I think I first listened to Chad and Carrie's 20th anniversary podcast, where I was immediately inspired by the story of Actualize's inception and our focus on culture as well. From there, I applied on the company's website to an internship opening through a video resume, which I thought was a really cool way to apply, since you could find a cool way to present yourself outside of a baseline resume. And from there, I went through the interview rounds and found myself to be an Actualize intern. And in terms of my experience, my role so far, it's been pretty awesome. I came on board, and Carrie gave me the unique opportunity to build an AI bot. Our first build, which was deployed in the last couple of weeks, actually, was a internal assistant containing Actualize benefits and HR data, which employees can interact with on our employee portal, such as asking questions about parental leave, holidays, etc. So that was definitely a really cool project to build out, and with more bots to come. So stay tuned there. And I also got the opportunity to get involved with some client work as well. I was lucky to have had some experience from my previous role within an internal consulting team at an aerospace company, particularly within reporting. So when I joined Actualize, I was able to leverage some of those pre-existing skills I developed and help out on numerous client reporting tasks while continuing to learn a lot from the rest of the consultants at Actualize. And I mean, that's actually another great point of what we have at Actualize, which is a great new hire mentorship program. Personally, I've learned so much from everyone so far at Actualize within the firm, like Brian, Rob, Matt, and so many others who are just willing to help and share their knowledge, so somebody new like me can learn and continue to develop into a great consultant here. And Adrian, your path at Actualize, I know has been great with a lot of growth. Can you share your journey with us so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's similar to yours, Dom. I interned, well, you're doing a co-op, but I interned here in my summer while I was finishing school. Similar to you, I worked internally on developing some internal tools that helped the firm out today. One of them was a documentation that tells the consultants how to initialize a database. So it's a pretty long document that details steps 1 through X on following steps when we initialize a database, such as certain procedures or functions that each one needs to do. To this day, I actually even go back to that document and refer back to it. I also helped the firm out with, when I was interning here, internally in projects as well, client work where I learned a lot. And, one of the reasons why I decided that, that I wanted to come here full time was basically because of the culture that Actualize offers. There's a great mentorship program, like you mentioned. I was put under the wings of Brian Stitt at the time. I learned a lot from him. I felt valued as an employee. I felt that the firm gives its employees the recognition that they deserve. I mean, look at you, what you've done, Dom, with AI, but I think that's great, and you've gotten the recognition. You were just mentioned in our newsletter recently. And, given that we're a smaller firm, we have about 60 or 70 consultants in the treasury capital market space, it gives you the opportunity to shine, meaning that if you have an idea, if you have some type of entrepreneurship, role that you want to develop, Actualize listens. And, in my experience, for example, one of the things that I wanted to do that I told Chad and Carrie when I joined is that I wanted to work more specifically on the LATAM space, because I saw that there was an opportunity there, that there were not many folks that spoke Spanish and could do consulting with Spanish clients. At the time, it was myself and Claudio Delgado. And I saw this as something that, one, there's a lot of demand for projects in LATAM, but we don't have many folks that speak Spanish and can offer consulting for these clients. So, we started with one client grew to two to three, and then today, 3 years later, we have a Mexico office with, I believe, 5 to 6 full-time consultants there. So that's a vision that I had at the beginning when I first joined, is that I wanted to, offer value to Actualize in helping opening this office with Claudio at the time in Mexico. And, Chad and Carrie listened, and, Priscilla also did a lot of support and help on getting the office started. And it's been a journey ever since. So, it's been a great learning experience. Each internship is different. You're going to be put in a role where you're going to offer, your expertise, your what you learn in different past internships or college, etc., and sort of start shining there. So in my case, I did the initialization document, which I mentioned, which helps out a lot, and then you can also come up with ideas or solutions I think that will be beneficial. So with you, just curious, Dom, with the AI tool, was that something that maybe, that when you came in as an intern, did you come up with that idea, or that Actualize already had like in the back of their mind that they wanted to develop this and you signed up for it? How did the AI tool come to mind?
Yeah. So when I joined, Carrie kind of gave me the opportunity to work on that kind of as an initial project. Coming on as an intern, you don't necessarily know what you're going to do. So, it's nice when you get a big project, especially, with the AI space growing so rapidly. It's really cool to work on a big project like that and have ownership over something of that scale as an intern. So I definitely got really lucky with that experience, and just being able to, build it end to end from the ground up. Building your own bot, applying all your data sources, and then eventually deploying it onto our employee portal on our website. That was really just a great experience for me, for sure. Yeah, and Adrian, I know that you got a lot of experience, within LATAM promotion training and flexibility of working from other locations. Can you discuss some of that?
Yeah, so the Clientix portion of LATAM, it's a different market than the US. I want to say it's a market that's developing, it's emerging. Within the US, the technologies have been more advanced. You have a lot of interfaces and ERPs connections already with TMSs. Whereas in LATAM, this is something that it's there as well, but it's not at the pace that the US is at. So the Clientix portion of LATAM is big because there's a lot of clients that need help with TMS implementations, vendor selections, etc. And that's where Actualize offers, valuable support in that space. And then from the project management experience, we work with a lot of different clients. So, as you get started here at Actualize, you typically start off as a senior consultant. And then as you start to get more experience and become more independent, you can start leading, implementations and leading certain functionalities. And, once you know it, if the PM, the project manager role is something that you want to target or pursue in the future, you can list that as part of your goals. And then as part of your goals, you sort of point out what are some of the action items that you can take during the year so that you can get to that level. In my case, I got the chance to shadow a few PMs while I was a functional consultant, do a lot of sort of learn, what are the different things that they do, such as, weekly calls with clients, project timelines, following up internally, designing a specific treasury functionality. And I took a lot of notes, a lot of learning, I watched a lot of, the recordings that we did with clients. And then I want to say that one of the best things that happened to me was that I learned under a great PM, which was Claudio at the time. And I sort of took a lot of his experience and knowledge and applied it myself with what I learned. And then also, training new consultants is another part of what you do sort of here, what you could do here actually is if you're interested, right? So I like working with new folks. I like mentoring new folks. So we do have the yearly goals that we prepare and and that we can update every 6 months per se. And that when you sort of in December or January, when you put like a vision as to where you want to go that year and you highlight, this is what I want to do internally. In my case, for example, I want to work with new hires. You start working there and, as you reflect back in time, let's say you go back to the last 6 months or the last year, you see that you're able to accomplish some of these goals. And that's one of the ways that actually makes you grow is that you sort of lay out your career path as far as where you want to go, and then Actualize offers that support. We have a great training budget that gives you the possibility of, training in different areas of consulting or treasury that you like. And yeah, overall, it's been a great experience. And that's been some of my, client exposure in LATAM, the project management expertise and, sort of what I want to do internally, which is why I also went back to your question in the AI tool. I would think that, with AI, there's so many different possibilities as far as what you want to do. Internally, you work with the HR and benefits tool, but, this is something that you can leverage to other levels, of the company. And I'm sure that if you put that as part of your goals, you can make it happen without a problem.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Adrian. Yeah, and very cool to hear about how your vision with LATAM came to fruition as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that you think through at the beginning and sort of say like, is this possible? But once you lay it out and things start happening, and then in this case, the firm gives you the support to make it happen. Things come to fruition. So yeah, absolutely. So I actually use the AI tool. I keep going back to the AI tool just because I like this so much. I actually used it recently to ask some questions that I had internally, and it came up with some answers. So I appreciate that you did that together. I'm sure that you're going to do great things here at Actualize, Dom. So one question, Dom, why did you decide to pursue Actualize full-time after your co-op? What was it that made you want to come here, full-time in the fall?
Yeah. So I think I've gotten really lucky so far from the perspective of having a lot of work experience really quickly. In my previous role, I worked consecutively for 2 years while I was in school, being part-time during academic semesters and full-time when I had school breaks. And I've already spent about 6 months working full-time at Actualize. And if there's one thing I've learned from having so much work experience, it's that work experience is truly invaluable. From my experience, the test of school is to show a potential employer that you showed up to class for 4 years, completed a series of tasks reasonably well and on time, in hopes that you'll be hired. However, the best experience is hands-on experience. And that's what I found here at Actualize, which is why I was happy to take the opportunity to go full-time in September and finish off my last few courses part-time. And Adrian, if a potential recruit was listening to this, what would you say is the most helpful in landing an internship?
Yeah, good question. I would say I'll reference back to what you say that, of course, you want to do good in schooling. When you talk to the employer, you want to show that you've got an experience in one, either if possible past internships or you're following a career path. And I would say that what's most helpful in landing internship is being honest with yourself and like with the employer as far as why are you interested in the company, so researching the company before you talk to them, reviewing the roles and responsibilities for the role that you're applying for the internship for, and truly ask yourself, is this something that I want? Or are you just doing this because, you're I don't know, let's say for the experience or just for because you're getting, let's say reinforcement from your parents. It has to be something that you truly want to pursue, right? Otherwise, you're not going to be happy in the role. So I would say the most important thing is to totally be honest with yourself and ask the question, based on my previous experience that I've done at either past internships or based on what I learned from school, or what are my interests, like what do I like to do on a day-to-day basis? Is this internship a role that I would like to pursue? And if the answer is yes, then and you show that when the employer asks you questions, and you show that in the interview process, then that's gonna give you a lot of help and support in order to land an internship.
I totally agree. I totally agree with you, especially with your point on transparency. I think that's really essential. When applying for a role, just to be honest with yourself and the employer about why you're interested in the role, and why you think that you'd be a valuable resource to the firm, just like you mentioned. And from my perspective, I think it's important to show off what you offer that's unique. These days, I think, the internship market has gotten really competitive, and, right, there are a lot of good young people out there. But, I think the one thing that you can offer is show off what you have that is unique, right? And I think we're lucky at Actualize to have the video interview process for this. But generally, just to show off a really cool and innovative project you have worked on at a previous internship, a cool side project that you built yourself, or a cool club or organization that you're a leader in, just to find something that will help you stand out from the crowd, and like you said, just to, be transparent of why you want to join the organization and, what you can offer.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I think one of the things that I like to think about when you go through interview process is, that question as far as if you go back to a previous job or a previous internship experience and you were presented with a task or a problem or an issue, what did you do to resolve it? That's like something that you can think about before the interview process, so that, you come ready and you sort of reflect on your past experiences, right? And what are the ways that you yourself look to resolve problems, or what are some of the items that you've done before that can help you in this future internship per se that you're applying to. So absolutely agree with that. So yeah, I mean, going back to another topic. So, what are some words of wisdom that, we would give to those that are graduating soon? So I would say that, it's a great change after you graduate college, because you go through 18 years of school and then 4 years of college. That brings you up to like 21 or 22 years of age. And once you graduate college, you sort of ask the question, what next? And typically, they say you get a job and you work for the next 40 years, et cetera. But it's not that, really. It's not just working for the next 40 years. You're changing your life in the sense that now you're going to start, creating value for yourself and for your future family or future self, per se, in the sense that everything that you learn from age, 6 till age 22, per se, in school, you're going to apply it to whatever role you're on, right? So what I would say to those that are graduating soon is that, look for something that truly makes you happy. Look for a job that, that you can apply your skills on, and that you can feel like you're making a difference. And apart from the job itself, also look for healthy habits. It's healthy to try to eat good foods, try to get some exercise on a weekly basis, and try to look for ways of having a healthy lifestyle outside of work. Work, you'll have that, once you progress in your career and you keep on working, let's say 8 hours, 9 hours per day, sometimes can be longer days. But if you don't take care of your health, that can affect your daily life, and it can also affect your workspace. So I would say definitely prioritize, the health benefits, if your current employer has one, and look to take care of your body. So one example here at Actualize is that we have the wellness, incentives that we get on a yearly basis. And I typically use that for gym memberships, or, if I'm to go, like, let's say do a massage or something like that, I typically make use of it. So what I would recommend to those that are graduating is, going back to that, is that, yes, look for something that you like, look for something that you love in your job, but also look to take care of yourself and try to be healthy. I would ask the same question to you, Dom, given that, that you've been extremely successful within a short period of time. What would you recommend to our listeners once you land the job and how to shine?
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Adrian. So, I think it's simple but great advice. But I think you should, strive to leverage your strengths, work on your weaknesses, and learn from mentors as much as you can. If you find yourself surrounded by great people like we have at Actualize, your job honestly becomes really easy. Just take it all in and learn as much as you can. And the other big point, I think, is to take advantage of every opportunity you have. Every task and project you get is an opportunity to simply give it your all and show your value as a member of the firm. And of course, just to shine, right? Do your best, give everything your all, and I think what we have at Actualize, is really great because, we get that opportunity, and especially, working in the consulting industry. I mean, personally, my biggest fear, in terms of working, like you mentioned before, is to be bored of my job. And honestly, I mean, working in consulting, I have never felt that so far. And everything we do here at Actualize is just really exciting. It's been a really great experience so far. And Adrian, how about you? What have you felt about working in consulting so far?
Oh, it's great. I mean, like you mentioned, it's not boring at all. You learn so much from so many different perspectives. You get different points of view from different clients that you work with. And, one of the great things about consulting is that you present it with sometimes a problem, but sometimes, clients are asking you for a solution to something that they're doing today, right? And, the result of that solution is not going to be something that's going to be quick. Sometimes, sometimes it can take, months, years per se to get to that final step. But once you offer that solution and once you see the client change drastically over time, then you sort of feel like this sense of like gratitude and good because you're helping, folks on a day-to-day basis, right? So a lot of the clients that we work with have, in some cases, a lot of manual tasks that takes some hours to do. And with our consulting experience, we offer tools that help automate some of the solutions and help them on a day-to-day basis. And then you can, when you get that implemented per se, it feels like you're helping someone. And there's no better feeling than helping someone out. In this case, in the consulting world, you're offering your experience and your consulting skills to corporations, companies that we work with. And it's a great space to be in because every day is different. And we offer, great support to those that we work with. So I don't know. I see myself being a consultant for a long, long, long time. So thanks everyone for listening in. This was our co-op and intern experience at Actualize. I appreciate Dom for joining on this podcast.
Thank you very much, Adrian.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks for joining us for today's episode of Actualizing Success. Make sure to visit us online at www.actualizeconsulting.com where you can explore our service offerings. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, or your preferred platform. If you've enjoyed what we talked about today, please consider leaving a review and following us on LinkedIn. If you have any questions or would like to share your opinions with us, please send us a note at podcast@actualizeconsulting.com. We look forward to hearing from you.